You're still watching TVC News. At one, let's turn attention to business now. The International Monetary Fund says determined and well-sequenced implementation of the government's policy interventions will pave the way for faster, more inclusive and resilient growth in Nigeria. The Global Financial Institution disclosed this in a statement after its Executive Board's 2024 Article 4 consultation with Nigeria in Abuja. The IMF Board of Directors said the government's reforms had to be well communicated to also help restore macroeconomic stability and support social cohesion. The directors highlighted the importance of reforms to enhance the business environment, improve security, implement key governance measures, develop human capital, boost agricultural productivity, and build climate resilience. In another story, the federal government, through the Debt Management Office, has offered 3 FGN bonds valued at 150 billion naira each for subscription at 1,000 naira per unit. The DMO, in a release, said the first offer is the 5-year reopening of the April 2029 FGN bond valued at 150 billion naira at an interest rate of 19.3%, while the second offer is the 7-year reopening of the February 2020 31 FGN bond valued at 150 billion naira at an interest rate of 18.5%. The third offer, he says, is a new 9-year May 2033 FGN bond valued at 150 billion naira. According to GMO, the offers are offered at 1,000 naira per unit, subject to a minimum subscription of 50 million naira and in multiples of 1,000 naira thereafter. And now, as the global environment continues to struggle to cope with the changing climatic conditions reflected in the rising sea levels, increased frequency of extreme weather, flooding, and coastal erosion, architects have been charged to take responsibility of designing and constructing buildings that respond to these changes. These and many more submissions came up at the Lagos Architect Forum put together by the Lagos branch of the Institute. We have details in this report. An annual event where professionals in the beauty industry share ideas, network and strengthen business ties, and try to proffer solutions to challenges faced in their day-to-day dealings. This year's focus is to deliberate on Lagos resilience and climate adaptation strategies. As the leadership of the Nigerian Institute of Architects say, Lagos stands at the forefront of challenges ranging from rapid urbanization, infrastructure strain, and environmental sustainability.
As we embark on this journey of exploration and collaboration, let us remain mindful of the challenges ahead and the opportunities they present. Let us harness the power of innovation, interdisciplinary collaboration, and community engagement to create a more resilient and adaptable Lagos for generations to come.
The climate is changing because there's so much CO2 out there, and the ozone layer is depleting because we are flaring gases and all those things. So that is the reason why we've decided to talk about this now, to see how we can make Lagos State a better place and a more livable environment than what it is now.
For the president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, Mrs. Mobolaji Adeniyi, practitioners must be resilient to these highlighted challenges and also be capable of mitigating their impact on the environment.
The professionals need to ensure that with their designs, we're looking at zero carbon emission, we're looking at designs that are eco-friendly, we're looking at materials that are sustainable, we're looking at buildings that can withstand all the effects of global warming, like I said. You know, there's a lot of things happening all over. I'm sure in the past few months, all of you in Nigeria have realized it's never been as hot as this. How can we design buildings that we can be comfortable inside? And the truth of the matter is our local materials are actually very good to adapt for seasons like this.
It's to advocate for a decarbonized built environment. So we need to ensure that we are learning from each other when it comes to a resilient future, when it comes to ensuring that we are addressing the climate emergency. We also need to ensure that we take with us the innovations and the ideas from our young up-and-coming emerging talents,
We need to make sure that we're challenging the status quo, because doing things the way it was done before got us to where we are today.
Experts at this year's Lagos Architects Forum say they will harness the power of innovation, interdisciplinary collaboration, and community engagement to create a more resilient and adaptive Lagos for generations to come. Outside Nigeria now, Japan's Honda Motor says its fourth quarter operating profit grew more than sixfold from a year earlier, helped by a weak yen and strong vehicle sales. Japan's second biggest automaker by volume saw quarterly operating profit come in at 305.6 billion yen, which is about $1.96 billion versus an average estimate of 243.3 billion yen in a poll by analysts at LSEG. The automaker's operating profit for the 3 months to March 31 grew more than sixfold from a year earlier to 305.6 billion yen, well ahead of 248.3 billion yen average expected by 9 analysts. The company posted a 17% sales rise in its biggest overseas market, the U.S., to about 378,000 vehicles over that period, while its sales in China declined by more than 6% in January-March to about 207,000 vehicles. Now, President Joe Biden says it is partnering with Microsoft to invest about $3.3 billion to build a new artificial intelligence data center, which is expected to create thousands of union construction jobs in Racine, Wisconsin. The president says Microsoft is also partnering with Gateway Technical Community College to train and certify about 200 students a year to fill high-demand jobs. The deputy director of the White House National Economic Council, John Donneberg, said the center is also anticipated to create pipelines to new industries in town. This is Mr. Biden's fourth visit to the battleground Midwest state.
Today, it's another example of the private sector optimism. Microsoft, as the president already pointed out, is investing $3.3 billion to build a new data center here in Racine. That's going to help operate one of the most powerful artificial intelligence systems in the world, and I've gone around the world, literally, not figuratively, meeting with the leading architects of AI. It's going to result in 2,300 union construction jobs just to build a new facility.
Well, and that's it for